This is a post from r/Askreddit. What's the strangest punishment your parents ever gave you? Forced to smell dog breath. Because if we have to deal with the filth from your mouth, then you have to deal with the filth from its mouth. I got this on numerous occasions. It sounds silly at first, but it was anything but at the time. I begged them to give me anything but that. Like for swearing? I would assume not brushing his teeth. No, clearly it's about swearing. Having a filthy mouth means bad language usually, and they said dealing with the filth from your mouth, not smelling your filthy mouth. Nah, definitely not brushing teeth makes more sense. My parents routinely took away my library card when I did something worth punishing. So I memorized it. When they caught on, they refused to go to the library with me for the duration of my punishment. So I started volunteering at the library once a week, so they had to take me. Improvise, adapt, overcome, destroy, control, civilize, secure, contain, protect. Not really a strange punishment, but it turned out strangely, I think. When I was probably 5 or 6, something happened, literally can't remember what I did to deserve the punishment, that caused my parents to send me to my room with no lights allowed on and the door closed. I'd never been able to sleep with the door closed and at least a light on in the hall or something till then. This time? I just went to sleep after a while in there with no lights, and that was the last time I needed lights on or the door open when I went to bed. Worked out well from my point of view, in my opinion. Worked out well from their point of view too. As a dad with 2 little kids who still can't fall asleep without a million night lights keeping me awake, yeah, it was definitely a bigger win for the parents. When I was 10, Mom would take my NES games for a week. When I was 13, Mom would take my SNES games for a week. When I was 16, Mom would take my blank floppy disks for a week. I didn't explain the mistake to her until I moved out. All I can imagine is just a drawer full of floppy disks with names on them which are all blank, and an old cardboard box of numbered floppy disks with stuff on them. And a tiny piece of paper with a name attached to each number. Rookie mistake, they might break out the magnifying glass to read such tiny writing. Just put the list of disk numbers mapped to names on floppy disk number 4. And if you forget that it's number 4, just remember that number 13 has a derivation of a collapsing sphere's density over time that equals the number of the list floppy. There was a serial killer who got caught because of something like this, if I recall correctly. If I cursed, my mom would make me go into the bathroom and say every curse I knew while looking in the mirror so I could see how ugly I made myself look while cursing. Well, I learned that if I wanted to curse with impunity, all I had to do was say yes and get sent to the bathroom where I could say any curse I could think of, punishment-free, for as long as I wanted. Lol. Accidentally taught you venting/coping skills, neat. Cursing has been shown to be a pain reliever. Doctor, we're low on anesthesia. Damn it. Alright, sir, can you hear me? Good. Now, on the count of 3, give me a fuck. 1, 2, 3. I don't think that sounds like he wanted it to sound Lamau. He knows what he said. r/suddenly gay. Dad made me splice together his old 8mm vacation films into a Vine-style highlight reel after I hurt his feelings by refusing to see Chef with him. Why did you refuse to watch it with him, and have you watched it with him since then? What did you think about his vacation films? Sounded like foodie porn. Watched years later, and now I see where he got idea for punishment. Years later? Chef the Favreau movie? Shit only came out like a few years ago. Also, it's a really good movie for the record. Edit. Now that I've checked, it did come out in 2014. Technically that's like 5 years, so fair play, I suppose. Yeah, I thought that too, but the economic and political climate have aged us rapidly, I suppose. The last 3 years have flown by. It's 2015 in my heart. I wish it was 2015. I was deathly afraid of my basement, and the threat for not adhering to lights out time was being forced to sleep in the basement for the night. Anyway, I forget what I was doing, but I was up to no good one night, probably reading comic books with a flashlight or something. I got sent to sleep in the basement and was pretty much up all night being super scared. It was threatened a lot, but I think it only actually happened once. I was a smart-ass kid. My aunt tried once to threaten me that the boogeyman will take me to the basement if I don't behave and eat me. Her. Can you hear him roar? My 4-yo smart mouth. Auntie, you know better, that's the boiler. She said I was super condescending and that made her quit. Then one day she broke a wooden spoon whipping my ass, and I still tense up hearing the drawer clang open to this day. In a rather weird twist on your story, when my son was 5, we lived in a house with a basement that had horrible stairs and no railing. We were afraid he would fall and get hurt on the concrete floor, so he was forbidden to go down there. But it was also where the laundry hookup was, so I had to go down there all the time. Apparently he decided that if I was down there it had to be something cool, so he used to always try to break into the basement. One night I apparently forgot to lock the door. I get up in the morning and the 2 dozen oatmeal chocolate chip cookies I'd made the night before, they were for his kindergarten class, were gone. I follow the mess and find the empty bag at the bottom of the basement stairs with my son sitting there laughing at me. I lose my shit. I'm so pissed off and scared all at the same time. I haul him out of the basement and yell at him. And he laughs at me. So I give him a swat across the ass. And he still laughs at me. I grab the wooden spoon off out of the utensil holder on the counter and I'm going to paddle his ass, and he's not going to think this is so funny. G0D, damn it. Well, it was a cheap dollar store wooden spoon, with a flaw in the wood grain of the handle. Didn't even get one good swat in and the darn thing fell apart in my hands, and you guessed it. He laughed at me. I sat down in the middle of the kitchen floor and cried. And he apologized. And I felt so bad. I knew I was wrong. Never tried to spank him again. Class got stuck with store-bought cookies though. I would get grounded to the front porch because when I was grounded in my room I would entertain myself with literally anything, even lint from the carpet. So my dad finally had enough and made me sit on the front porch, and I wasn't allowed to talk to anyone except to say that I'm grounded and can't talk. Random stranger walks by. Hi, I'm grounded. My dad said I can't talk to you. Hi, grounded, I'm dad. Rips off mask. This was a test, son, I'm proud of you. Hi, proud of you, I'm dad. Rips off mask. Dad, what the fuck? He fell right into grandpa's trap. I had to cut open tennis balls with pennies. I'm still not sure what that was about. I was innocent, by the way. It's called a pitcher's ball. You fill a tennis ball with coins and tape it with duct tape. Makes the ball heavy, so helps with training catching and throwing for baseball. How to make a pitcher ball. In another comment, op said their dad played baseball in college, so I bet you're right. Great detective work. Got a bad grade on a math test in elementary school. As my dad dropped me off for the day, I quickly told him he needed to sign something, the test. He was so furious that even though I was already late for school, he drove the 2 miles back home, spanked me and made me walk to school. I was so late. Ugh, I understand that parents want their kids to do well in school, but getting angry like that over a bad grade is dumb, and rather counterproductive. My parents would yell at me if I wasn't on the honor roll and say things that just made me feel like crap. Instead of going to them for help when I was struggling in school, I talked as little about school with them as possible. I hear this. My kid was in kindergarten last year and the school uses a color scale to help kids understand acceptable behaviors. Every day you start on green, and if do well and help others you clip up, yellow, orange, and red, and if you're acting up or not listening then you clip down, blue, pink, purple. My kid is really pretty well behaved and was shocked the first time a kid in his class got pink, note home, or purple, call parents. He gets in the car one day and tells me he was blue. We talked about why and let him tell me why he was wrong. He asked if I was mad. I was honest with him and told him I wasn't mad, that I knew he was a good kid, and everyone is bound to have a blue day once in a while. I just asked him not to make a habit of it and told him I was glad he told me before I found out from his planner. They write the color every day. That was what seemed to have the most impact on them, that I was glad he told me. I need to make sure I get that point across well before he's a teenager, and don't want him to ever be scared to be honest with me or tell me things, and I feel like the window is closing a bit every day. What wonderful parenting. You're doing great. My mom was pretty old school, so she wasn't against spanking, which was my usual punishment. Strangest was when I made fun of my sister for wetting the bed, calling her a baby and stuff. My mom wasn't happy because I was making her cry and setting her back. So as a punishment she made me wear a pull-up whenever my sister had to. A lot to unpack there. That's what my therapist said too. Does the good doctor know of your username? I'm afraid he does. But he was so young when it happened. Me and my sister were fighting after I tried to steal some of her chili fries and she stabbed me with a fork. Dad took us out back and tied us up face to face with a rope. told us when you figure out how to work together you will be able to get out. Did you work together and get out? After we stopped spitting on each other, yes. Are you two, in fact, llamas? Yes, I can confirm, I am the mom. So convenient and specific. Thanks for watching everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Experimental Journeys.